everybody. We are here on Segni in this meeting of the 16th edition of the Segni New Generation Festival. And now we will listen to a presentation in the context of the VIP. That was a joke. This is in the real beginning. Welcome, everybody. We are here on segninonda.org, the web platform of the festival, Segni New Generation Festival. This is the 16th edition, and we are in this new format that is called VIP. That means very international pitches. We are honored to have today with us a presentation about the Bibu Festival. And we have together with us Niklas Markroma and Niklas Borgholm. I hope I pronounced his name. We are here in Mantua after a nice, fantastic lunch. So as you see, we are in a convivial approach, and sun is shining. But we will soon go directly in the center of the topic, that is the presentation of Bibu, and I'll let the floor to Niklas Markroma. Thank you.
Or rather to Niklas Borgholm.
Thank you. That was the Swedish way to pronounce my name. Thank you for being here. It's a lovely festival. I'm going to look into this country, and I'm going to look at this cloud, since we like that also. Bibu is Swedish, the most important festival in Sweden for children and youth, and has been the festival since 2006. It's a biennal, it's arranged every other year. And we do like that. Yeah. Now we see everything. Yeah, good. Yeah. Now you see me, now you see something better. Presentation. I am the CEO of Bibu since the 1st of January, so I'm also the general manager of the festival. As I said, the Bibu has been started in 2006. It's arranged every other 2 years. It's quite a big festival. It's attracts around 1,000 people, 1,200. In the audience every other year. It started out in the south of Sweden. It still is in the south of Sweden, but it started out in Lund. Now it moved to Helsingborg. It's a nice place. It's very close to Denmark. It's also very close to the castle of Hamlet. Kronenborg, who knows Kronborg, who knows Hamlet history. It's only 10 minutes with train away from. With boats away from Helsingborg. So the red spot here in the map is where we are located. It's very easy to get there. You either fly to Copenhagen and you have a direct train to go to Helsingborg, or you go by train all the way to Helsingborg. It's very easy. I think today, most of you maybe haven't heard about the festival, but we are also very proud that in 2022 we are the host of the Asitesh Artistic Gallery. It's a great honor, and we have made some, I think, very important choices for the festival in 2022. Now it's not only, it's the first festival in Sweden that's going to be held in 2 years as a public event, as it is. We have chosen to have sustainability as a theme, because I think sustainability is something very important now that we need to talk about within the international performing arts context. We need to talk about how to lift different groups, and Niklas is going to talk more about this in a minute. But we have chosen to have a selection for the international performances to come from indigenous peoples, with and by indigenous peoples, which has made this festival a list of great performances, about I think 80 at least were actually made by indigenous peoples for youth and for children, which is, I think, the largest list in the world for this category. It's going to be 6 days, 17th to the 22nd of May. We're going to have lots of workshops, seminars, talks. Also, a very big topic during this Beaver Festival is how we restart performing arts. It's going to be after 2 years of nothing. It's going to be many years of many things. So we're going to have to talk about how do we restart. I think it's great to be here, to actually be sitting in a theater with a crowd to watch a live performance. It's a joy to do so. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. So we're going to have some digital features also. We're gonna decide in what format and how extensive that's going to be in late November. We'll get you more information about that then. So, Nicholas, do you want to talk?
Yeah.
Good. Nicholas is not the most common name in Sweden. You could think so. It's about 30,000 Swedish people out of 9 million whose name Nicholas. But here's one of the other ones.
Awesome. Thank you, Niklas. Yes, when we started this journey to organize the Beaver Festival in 2022 and also the Acid Artistic Gathering, it was back in 2019, and that was before the pandemic. But when we decided also to bid for the Artistic Gathering, we talked a lot about what kind of focus do we want to have on the festival in general, because we thought that organizing a big international event, it was important to sort of focus on something that is, or that was important for us as practitioners within the field. And I had at that time been around to many festivals around the world, and one thing that always came up, but usually only as a seminar or a workshop, and that was about sustainability. It was like we have to talk about it, but we don't know how we should talk about it and what we should do about it and how we should deal with it. So when Ingrid, who was then the CEO of Beaver, when we talked about it, we said that why don't we try to focus maybe the whole festival on sustainability. And then when we talked about sustainability, we don't only talk about the environmental issues, we also talk about social sustainability and economic sustainability. And then we looked upon the United Nations 17 global goals of sustainability, and we thought maybe we can use the 17 goals and see in what way they relate to our work as practitioners within the performing arts field. So we took the 17 goals and said, this is what we're going to work with and what we are going to talk about. And we also took the watchword, leave no one behind, because this was what the United Nations has said. This is the important thing. So we thought, let's do it ourselves, leave no one behind. And we wanted to invite everybody to Sweden and to the Acid Artistic Gathering and to the Beaver Festival. It's not that we have a recipe. It's not that everything is going to be about sustainability. The performances that we have selected or are in the process of selecting, they are not about sustainability, because we want high quality, interesting performances to be shown during the festival. But we want to focus as much as possible on the seminars, workshops, discussions, whatever we do in our meetings. We wanted to focus that on sustainability. And of course, a lot of it will be on environmental issues. How do we travel? How do we tour? How do we produce performances and so on? In what way? And we have talked a lot about us coming here from up in the Northern Europe. We cannot take the train because it will take 2.5 days or something. So we came here by airplane, and how do we do that in the future? I have talked about maybe, for example, Acid Germany. Why don't they rent a bus and go together instead of flying each of them on their own? Or from Italy, maybe you can organize a train trip to Sweden. It will take some time and so on. I don't say that this is what you have to do to come to Sweden, but it's the beginning of a discussion. And if you live in Canada, you cannot take the train, so you have to fly. But that's part of a beginning discussion on how we should deal with this in the future, because I think that we have to deal with one way or another. And also, sorry, when we talked about inviting international performances to the festival, we thought that what can we do? We can do as many other festivals. We can invite the most interesting, most spectacular performances from around the world. And then we realized that many of them have already been in different festivals. But then in Sweden, we have the only indigenous people in Sweden, and that's the Sami population in the northern part of Sweden, Norway and Finland. So, yeah, can we have a look upon indigenous peoples around the world and see what kind of performing arts they are producing? Because they have not really been part of our Diacite or our festivals. We have in Sweden and Norway and Denmark sometimes invited performances from Greenland or from the Samis. But now we thought, let's focus the international part of the international performances on people with indigenous peoples. And let's just see if I can maybe change here, because when I started this, I didn't know very much about, and we didn't know where to look. But what we did was that we, let's see if I can share this. Yeah. So what we did is that we just started to invite an international committee to select the performances. So we have artistic peoples from Australia, from Sweden, from Taiwan, from South Africa, from Canada, and they are all indigenous peoples themselves. And they have helped us, and they are still helping us in selecting the international performances. And what we are trying to aim is at least to get one performance from each continent to perform. And I don't know if we should get into a discussion about what indigenous peoples are, but there are about 400 million people around the world that belong to indigenous peoples. And the main feature of indigenous people is that they are the minority population in a country where there is a majority population of people who in one way or another colonized their land. So that is, but much of the identification relies on self-identification. So it can be argued who is an indigenous people and who are not. But we rely very much on the people we have invited to the international board. So, yeah. And we have also realized that in doing this, we exclude most parts of the world in inviting productions to the festival. But on the other hand, we have said that these people have never been invited to a major performing arts festival with children and young people before. So we believe that this is one way to go. And yeah, hopefully we will be able to present performances from cultures that we haven't met before. I should go back to my the other. Yeah. So I will not continue much more because I've said a lot, but we will try to show you our video that we produced and that we got just a few days ago to present the festival, and then we are happy to answer any questions to see if it works with the sound here.
Deve attivare l'audio. L'audio del PC. L'audio al PC. Ma adesso non si sente niente né qui né lì.
So can I just say one more thing? We, as you might have seen in this trailer or video, we do have 2 theme tracks during our review also, without the actual themes of restart, sustainability, and indigenous people. We do focus on how to make performances available for people with severe dysfunctionality, and how both in workshops and in performances. It's an own selection. It goes with its own theme, and we do work with the Oilicard Theatre in London. I think we're going to have Bamboozle. We hope to be represented also from London. Great Britain is far ahead aside from the rest of Europe when it comes to include all kinds of audiences in the performing arts. So it's going to be very nice to be able to learn from them during the Beacon Festival. And we also have a collaboration with Stockholm, the University in Stockholm, that has a special section for research for performing arts for children and youth. So we're going to have a research theme, how performing arts have impact in other research fields within the society. So that's also going to be keynote speakers and everything. I think 3 to 5 keynotes. It's going to have a research way to talk about things during the festival as well. So yes, that was it. So we open up for question, Nicholas. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank
Do we
you.
have any questions?
Do you have any questions here from people here? Yes, we have a question. Che la registriamo in teoria. You just need to speak in the microphone.
Hi, I'm Linda. I'm from, and this question is not from me, but from ACTG. And I'd like to know if your program is full, is already complete, or if we have the opportunity to propose you a seminary or workshop about the content that you are presenting now today. Because, and I try to spoiler, I try to introduce the idea is not the project, because if you are interested, we can develop the project. But now I try to introduce the idea. When we saw online the call for performances about indigenous performances, this call opened many questions in our mind, many thoughts, and many many questions. So the artistic gathering, artistic gathering, and the Astrotation, it's a marvelous place, because when we have a congress or a gathering, we have all the world into a room, more or less. So this opportunity is give us also the opportunity to ask each other which is our perspective and which is our point of view when we talk about these topics, these words. So we would like to create, I don't know if we can talk about a workshop or seminary, an opportunity of a sort of role game, a debate between different cultures and different way to mean the different meaning of indigenous that we have from our cultural way and of region, because it's different. For the Italian, indigenous is a strange word, but
Etruschi, no?
yes, it is. The Latin and the Greece, yes, okay. And so it could be interesting to engage a sort of role game together to provocate also but also I don't know the name, the prejudice.
To challenge the
challenge. The stereotypes.
And stereotypes.
Yes, because yes, it could be exciting also to know, because I remember when I was in South Africa, we tried to we played a role game, and we tried to build up a project together, and we were 5 or 6 persons from different countries and different cultures. So it was very interesting because we found in this situation how the different cultures could change the way to interpret the same words. So if we have the opportunity, we would like, if there's the opportunity, we would like to propose to develop these things and propose you this workshop.
Maybe like one of those culture in Italy. I was wondering. Sorry? No. Niente, richiesta ad alta voce.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we all would be happy if you would provoke us a bit. But the thing is, the artistic gathering is organized by Bibel Festival and by Asita International. And when it comes to call for proposals for the international exchange, this goes not via or through us, but from Asita International.
Yes, we know this.
Yeah.
We know also the states, but we would like, yes, you are here, so it's the opportunity to talk together.
Yeah, of course, we would like to have discussions about our focus on indigenous peoples or our focus on sustainability. But practically, if you want to apply or make an application, you have to do it not through us, but through Asita International. And of course, we are part in selecting the different seminars and workshops and so on. And as I said, we will welcome applications or proposals that also challenges our choices and what we want to present during the festival. So I would urge you and everybody else around the world in Asita centers and so on to make proposals to the international Asita, and then we'll see. I mean, the only limit that we have as organizer is the time and the logistics, so that we can host all these different proposals from around the world. And maybe we should say a little bit more about the combination, because when we started this in 2019, what we saw in front of us was an ordinary live event where people come and meet. But after that pandemic, we have also realized that we would have to have more digital parts of the festival than we thought of when we started this. And this is still an ongoing discussion that we have with Asita International. How much of a hybrid event should it be? How much should be accessible on internet, and how much is accessible when you come to Sweden and to the festival? And this is not set yet, but we will discuss it during November and try to find ways of doing it. And we also, I mean, like this meeting here and now, it's also a combination of a live meeting where you are sitting and on Zoom. So we will explore different options in this way. And for us, it's also a matter of inclusion to include people around the world that in any case might not have the financial means to travel around the world and come to Sweden. So somehow we will have to find a good solution to this. and we are not there yet. We have said that by the end of November we have to decide on how we should move on. But again, we don't know how this pandemic will develop. I mean, now we're able to meet here in Mantua, and hopefully we will be able to meet also in May next year. But things might change, and we also realize that many people around the world will not be vaccinated and they will not have the possibility to travel. So that's something that we have to find a solution to include as many as possible. But I personally believe that we have a sort of a need to meet again because we have been isolated for 1.5 years now or more. And yeah, but we don't have any answer yet. We will see how we do it.
So also, as Nicholas said, it's gonna have to go through ACITES, is what they call for it. I think it's an excellent idea. So please do take it. As Nicholas said, also things that workshops that goes within the indigenous people theme. It's going to be not prioritized, but I think we need to be provoked. We provoked the entire performing arts community by making a selection indigenous people. So of course we need to talk about that. As far as I know, I think I might be wrong. I'm wrong every now and then. The only indigenous people that's in Europe is the Sami people. The Sami people, they have been colonized. The Greek and the Romans, they did great things, but they never got colonized. And we don't have. We do have a lot of people without homes or travelers, but they're not. I think the English word First Nation is a good word, but then the definition, who is the first, that's going to be very. Then we have the international committee who helps us with that. Who is the First Nations of Asia or Africa? It's great parts of the world. So, but a great suggestion. Please send me a link. Thank you.
Thank you. So, if there is any other question, we can answer you and benefit of this presence. Otherwise, we'll let you go on the website of ACITES International, where you can find all the information to apply for any proposal in this context, and to look forward to how to reach Sweden from your country without a flag. That is also maybe a boat, and also this is something that I always like to underline, is if there is any program and show that is going to be programmed in Sweden, I suggest that as soon as we can be informed about the program, we can share this information in the sense that maybe someone on the way of the company to Sweden can welcome, and we can use this format that was really, really interesting, the Walk of Amal. We can use the same format to launch a kind of off program call, just ideas on the floor after a fantastic launch. That someone can say, okay, oh, this show is coming from maybe Italy. I don't know. There is a show coming from Italy that needs to come to Sweden. To go from Italy to Sweden, you need to sleep in Germany, minimum. So if there's any structure in Germany that wants to host this show, maybe this can be interesting because you work on sustainability on 2 levels, the economic one and the environmental one. And maybe, since I believe that the process is sometimes more relevant than the result and the final achievement, even if in this case it's good, so it's the most important. This was a kind of, but difficult the word in English and in Italian both. But I think that this can be maybe tracked and mapped, and this can be an opportunity to develop new relations. Just to throw something in the lake of our imagination. So is there anything, so when do, a practical question, when the program of Bibu is going to be launched and public?
The selection of the performances, both the Swedish, international, and selection by our owners, it's going to be the second week of January. The program, as its whole, with the seminars and everything, the first week of March.
Great. So from January, we can start to program an extra programming, because of course the timing of the programming is already done in this period. But I believe that with this last minute programming that COVID is imposing us, maybe this can be the only edition we can do it. And of course we can help in this or experiment on this opportunity, maybe from Europe, but why not? If there is a company coming from Australia, maybe they fly to Paris, Berlin, and then they come, why not? So let's stay together and cooperate, even for the groups, because I think that this can be, I say that because in Europe also, of course I speak from the European point of view, because this is the point of view I can have under my eyes, but to create the European community, the EACEA that is supporting culture, is really deeply reflecting on strategies to support sustainability part and behaviors and cooperation. There is a project that is the one that David Suarez was pointing yesterday, that is the Perform Europe process, that is trying to put together a lot of artists and structures to welcome in a sustainable way with deep mobility. But I believe that one of our goal and to make advocacy for ACITES is to demonstrate how far away we are able to cooperate, and that we can really transform the idea of competition. That means who are the selected one? I am exclusive. So I am exclusive, but I can cooperate anyway to make more sustainable your venue to the festival with a sort of ring of activities that support this sustainability, kind of a dream and a challenge that I launched. So let's cooperate on it. Thank you. Great. So have a nice coffee. We go for the next meeting. We have a fantastic show tonight that is the Jezi Batalan show that some of us have already seen and are excited of. So I don't spoil anything. See you on Spuntini Critici, and let's go forward with this fantastic festival. Ciao.